Good afternoon, grunts. Yours truly is back with another video. I know the videos have been kind of far and in between here lately, but I've got a lot of great content to cover. But for me, a lot of it is has to do with time. I work a full-time job. I pay taxes just like most of you do. Um, and as the weather is getting nicer as it is now here in Nebraska, open water season's begun out at the lakes around here. So I've been out fishing. I went out this morning. Now, for those of you that are big walleye anglers, I'm really not, but I go out and I do target walleye and I do catch a lot of walleye. I guess that would probably make me a walleye angler, but I don't claim to be that. I pretty much catch what I can catch. So today I caught six short walleye, all under 15 inches, and one yellow perch that all went back to the drink. Um, I don't know if I mentioned on my last video I did before. But me and the GF went on a vacation. We took a 4-night cruise on board to Carnival Gloria, and I kind of want to talk about that for a minute before I kind of get on the topic here. Again, guys, I'm trying to keep my videos short and brief to keep you from dying of boredom, if you know what I mean. So back, is it April 28th or 29th, I believe we boarded the Carnival Glory. And again, this has nothing to do with the cruise ship, the cruise line at all. I mean, we've had great experience with Carnival, nothing bad to say about it whatsoever. But it kind of has to do with my kind of my red pill journey I took years ago, how you become more observant of your surroundings. And I'm the kind of guy that you'll see at a restaurant. If I go into a restaurant, I'm always looking around, seeing who's in there, what's in there, what are they doing, and I don't not staring at anybody in particular, but just kind of getting, be familiar with the surroundings in case somebody pops off, you know how to get out of the area immediately, or if you have to take a defensive stance, you know what to do and how to remedy the situation. So my powers of observation, like I said, there's just what I'm gonna tell you about is how our general decline in our general decline in society as a whole. And you probably heard me say it before, but there's times that I am literally surrounded by fat people. So, anyways, me and the GF take this 4-night cruise, and we have a great time. We stop at Nassau, there in the Bahamas, and we stop at Princess Keys. Just have a great time. Food's delicious. I'm not gonna lie, my ass put on 7 pounds on that cruise, and that's because yours truly. Oh yeah, even though I go to the gym, 3 to 5 days a week, depending on availability and my schedule. But I'm in the gym 3 to 5 times a week, and you better believe your asses I was in that gym on the ship. Me and the GF went to the gym twice on the ship. But I somehow managed to gain 7 pounds. And that's because I enjoy those soft serve froyos, the frozen yogurts they have on board the cruise ship. So I was taking in on average 2 or 3 of those a day. We had a balcony cabin up on the 11th deck, and then we just 2 decks down. We'd be on the Lido deck, and you'd be right there. There's ice cream machine about every corner of the Lido deck. But anyways, we spent a lot of our time, since we didn't have any kids in tow. Every time we went to the pool, it was on the Serenity deck, the adults only section of the ship. And so we go to the Serenity deck, and at the end of that deck is a pool. And me and a GF had spent some time there. But one thing I'd notice is the amount of people that are overweight and morbidly obese. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were some hot chicks, there were some hot girls out there. I won't deny that one bit, but they were few and far in between. Um, it's just crazy how sad we become as a society to let ourselves get like that. And but yeah, when I got home, I weighed myself. I put on 7 pounds. Of course, you would never notice it by looking at me, but I have since, and like this has been 2 weeks ago, we got off the ship. I have since lost that weight, and because I weighed in like 207, and I like to stay in at around like 198 to 200 pounds. So I dropped that weight. So I'm, you know, pretty impressed with myself there. As I said, we got back from that cruise. Um, it was back to home cooking, back to steak and shakes and veggies and fruits. I mean, we had that on the ship, but we did we did have some cheat times at meal time or whatever. We just go down for a snack and grab a plate of fruit or whatever, desserts. So it was well worth it. But yeah, I think I'm trying to think back. We went to a couple of the comedy shows. I can't remember who the comedian was. He wasn't that good. He wasn't horrible, but he wasn't that good. And I remember him making a making a comment about, the cruise ship was like you took a Walmart, you dumped everybody out of Walmart and just dumped them on a cruise ship. And that's exactly how he described it. And I couldn't agree more with it because I'm like, yeah, that's fucking true. I mean, the number of people I saw out on that Serenity Deck pool was holy fuck. If you were there to pick up chicks, you weren't, I mean, unless you're into chasing fatties, you had your whole option, whole fucking buffet of them. But and most of the guys I know don't chase fatties. And so if you go there, if you go on a cruise to pick up chicks, it's going to be few and far in between. Um, but yeah, that's one thing I noticed quite often. It's even when I go to the Walmart here, the number of fatties you see at Walmart on any given day. It's just, but like I said, I live in an area of town where if I
Here are some results.
was a fat, lazy slob, I could walk over down to Cane's down the street here. I can walk over to McDonald's, Wendy's, Amigos, um, you name it. There's Freddy's, there's everything here all within an easy walk for me. But yeah, that's just it's just it blows my mind. It really does, guys. And I'm sure a lot of you are kind of in the same kind of notice the same thing I have, kind of like, what the fuck is going on around here? So yeah, um, it was a great experience. It was my fourth cruise, her first, and so we had a great time. I can't say anything bad about our experience. We had a great time. But anyways, I want to read you guys something. Kind of this is the topic of the video. There's obviously there's a big difference between having a man in the house versus having a man of the house. And I found this on social media. And like I said, I usually don't take anything from social media with a grain of salt, but I read this and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna read it to my audience here. The whole 46 subscribers of you, by the way, thank you for watching. But here we go. Having a man in your house is not the same as having a man of the house. Now, if either one of these situations pertain to you, if you are a man in the house, you need to work to becoming a man of the house. So here we go. A man in your house might just be there. He exists in your space, eats your food, sleeps in your bed, but that doesn't mean he's showing up in the ways that actually matter. You can have a man in your life and still feel alone, still carry the weight of everything, still overthink, walk on eggshells, shrink yourself just to keep the peace. That's not love. That's not support. That's not leadership. Essentially, what they're describing there is a guy that he's there in physical body. He might not be there mentally. He shows up, like I say, he eats the food. He's not a leader. He's not a provider. He's not a protector. He's what I would describe like a doormat. I know quite a few guys that are literally doormats in their homes. It's like you walk out. Like for me, I got a doormat in front of my sliding door out here that I walk out and I got the pit out there. So when I burn meat, I'm always walking on my doormat coming in and out of the house here. And so that's how I describe a lot of men is they're nothing more than doormats in their marriages and families is, everybody, the wife, the kids walk all over them. And yet they may be good providers, but they're not protectors or they're not great leaders. They're just like, oh, hey, Dad, can I have $50 for the night? I'm going out to the movies and whatever. Oh yeah, sure, here you go. Here's $50. Kind of like George Jetson when you watch the intro to the Jetsons and he hands out the money to the kids and the wife and he's left with pretty much nothing. That's a man in the house. Now, a man of the house is different. He doesn't just show up physically. He shows up emotionally, mentally, and consistently. He takes responsibility without being asked. He adds peace, not pressure. He contributes, he supports, he listens, he leads, not by control, but by example. You don't have to beg him to care. You don't have to explain basic respect. You don't have to do it all on your own while he watches from the sidelines. That is a definition of a alpha male, a virtuous man, a guy that he's a provider, he's a leader, and he's a protector. Okay. And here's one thing was I'll repeat here. He takes responsibility without being asked. Simple as that. Being accountable, holding yourself to a standard, uh, taking responsibility even when you're never asked to. It's pretty much doing the right thing when nobody's around. Okay. He's the kind of guy that also in the bedroom, he's animalistic in the bedroom. He's the kind of guy that grabs the woman by the hair and pulls her hair and he's taking her from behind, giving it to her rough. You know what I mean, guys? You know what I mean? You understand where I'm coming from here? Okay. He's the alpha male. He is the dominant guy. He's also the man with boundaries. He commands respect and he wants his woman to be feminine. He wants her to be fit, friendly, faithful, friendly, and fertile. And in my case, I remove fertile and put fun. Fun without, I don't want like crazy fun. I want, hey, we like me and Jeff went on a cruise and we had fun. That kind of fun. Or that kind of fun on a motorcycle. We go out to the lake and go on a boat. We have that kind of fun. I'm not talking about doing stupid shit for fun. So to end this brief little article, so no, presence isn't enough. If you've ever felt the difference, you know. You don't need someone who just shows up when it's convenient. You need someone who stands beside you when it's hard. Someone who doesn't just live in the house, but helps build the home. So essentially, to kind of sum this up briefly, guys, is a man that's in the house has no frame. Okay. A man of the house has frame and he maintains that frame. And that frame comes with boundaries, comes with respect. Okay. The guy takes no gruff from his woman. He's firm but fair. He's not a pushover. Okay. He's not a nice guy. A great book that I would recommend you guys read if you are a nice guy is No More Mr. Nice Guy. And I got the book. I'd have to think of who can't think of the author right off the top of my head. You just Google No More Mr. Nice Guy. And yeah, there's a song that comes up with that too, but there's a book, No More Mr. Nice Guy. If you're the nice guy, you got the nice guy syndrome, you read that book, read it and live what anything that book tells you. It pretty much teaches you how to essentially um, put yourself first because a man of the house literally puts himself first, where a man in the house puts himself last. Okay. Essentially, being a man is not only solving problems, but it's solving your problems and dealing with your shit. Okay. Working through your shit. Working through your shit, becoming the best version of yourself. That's how you become the man of the house. You establish frame. You maintain that frame and you expect and you command respect. Okay. You don't take shit from anybody. You stand up for yourself and you put yourself first. In my hierarchy of life, you know, the including the girlfriend I'm dating now, past women I've dated, they've come in at a solid 3 because it goes me, my children, I got 2 sons, and then any woman that comes in my life comes in 3rd place. Because if I'm not my best version, how am I going to be any good to the other 2? How am I going to be able to rise up for the other 2 if I don't put myself ahead? So that's something about, guys. Otherwise, that's all I got for you today. I would like to increase the subscribership to my channel. So if you like this video, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, this is a mentor coaching type channel. I tell everything as it is. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I don't, if you guys have any problems or any issues you want to discuss, send me an email. I'll put the email in the video here. You can reach out to me. I'll be happy to read your email. I'll keep you anonymous. Read your email, help you through some stuff. Like I said, as men, we have a kind of I wouldn't say necessarily a war. I guess it'd be a war of the sexes, but like I said, we need to Men need to get, we need to reclaim our masculinity. And that's part of what this channel is all about. It's about becoming a man's man. It's about becoming, essentially living a life at table for one. Now realize, guys, a lot of you guys, and this is a harsh truth, a lot of you guys will never get married. And that's because women don't need men. Okay. A lot of, women are by 2030, 2035. A good majority of the women are going to be single and childless. So take a look around you. I mean, pay attention. Like I said, do like I do. I'm always observant. I'm always, when I go to Walmart, I observe who's in there. I know where the exits are. If somebody pops off, I know how to get out of there. I know how to save as many people as I can if I have to. But yeah, um, subscribe, like, and subscribe. But otherwise, guys, that's all I got. So until next time, toodles. Take it easy.